Hello once again, friends. It is I, Aaron Swan. I figured this time I would do a podcast, but on YouTube. For those of you who are listening to this on a podcast version, I highly recommend you go and see the actual version on YouTube, which is Aaron Swan or the Ginger Swan 66. Or if you guys are watching this on YouTube and want to go listen to the podcast version, it's the Ginger Swan Chronicles. This time I'm going to be getting into something a little bit deeper. I'm going to be talking about my love of TikTok and, places like this, YouTube and, podcasting and stuff like that. So I did a lot of deep thought the other day, and I think I found why I get so caught up in TikTok and on YouTube. It's not for the followers or the multitudes of thirsty people who compliment me and call me cute or hot or, try sucking up to me. I think it's more of a search for validity. My family is the type of family that isn't really inclusive to members who don't, pray the insert negative trait away. So as a result, nobody knows how to talk about feelings. And to do so seems like pretty uncomfortable and strict taboo. Like you don't talk about feelings. Anyways, pan to myself. I've always been almost too open to talk about my struggles with depression, self-harm, my spirituality, and, all that jazz. It gives me an opportunity to help others with the same sort of feelings I constantly try to work through. Of course, this platform was sort of bolstered and bastardized by the stupid Tide Pod debacle a few years back. But mental health is something I consider myself passionate about. I know it kind of seems like the blind leading the blind, but isn't that life? Not a one of us has it all together. But I digress. Where was I going with this? Yeah. So I know that because of my past as what my friend would call Jean-Val Swan, and my hard-hitting personality mixed with my tendency to overshare and overcare, people tend to get pushed away. Not to mention my propensity for leaving people on red and isolating myself for, days or weeks on end. But what I feel goes as an unreadable hint is that I would love nothing more than to be checked on, by the people who've known me for most of my life. But because, unfortunately, I see myself as the villain, thus the reason for masquerade, which I will touch on later, in the family, I reach out to the rest of the world, or to at least those who would pretend to give a shit on TikTok or YouTube, or, for those of you who listen to the podcast. I do realize that it's not the most healthy thing to seek attention from people who otherwise would probably not want anything to do with me. But in my mind, it's understandable, I guess. All of us crave some sign that someone or anyone cares even the tiniest bit. And I think when we don't get enough of that validation on the most base level from the people who've known us since we were just crying little masses of cuteness, we seek validation or attention in literally any way we can. Cue the thirst traps and clickbaiters and the like. Anyways, I know I mentioned Masquerade, so I guess I should mention him. I try to pride myself on being the Zen type of person, and I try to keep my cool and my head level in any situation. Sometimes, though, things understandably, pile up emotionally, and people find ways to unwind or de-stress. As few people know, I have a deep, deep love-hate relationship with self-harm. All the scars everywhere. I won't get into that subject because it's still hard for the people who do care about me to hear about. So to save them, I'm going to keep that a little bit quiet. And because it's hard for me to really open up about. But I guess in a way, so's Masquerade. Not too many people know who Masquerade is. I mean, obviously, he's me. If the beard never gives it away, he's me. But at this moment, he only has, just over 100 followers, which for me, that's perfectly acceptable. I want to keep him quiet. Masquerade came about as I was living in Kentucky and finally getting over probably my hardest breakup and getting over my divorce and coping with everything. I was desperately searching for a coping mechanism that didn't include bloodletting or hot metal or Tide Pods. I figured a healthy outlet would be to make videos on the TikTok under, a separate persona, I guess. So because I felt like I'm the villain in everybody's story, and that because my repression of my emotions and my lack of inclusion from people who at least are supposed to care, I very much related, I felt, to Quasimodo from, The Hunchback. So what better way to show my honest, depressive self than to don a mask that I found in Halloween USA, or Spirit Halloween, in Louisville, Kentucky. What better way to don that mask and be King of the Fools, and eventually, as you guys have seen the evolution, for those of you who have watched, into an original villain. I know this was kind of a weird, meandering chat, but I mean, isn't my mind always a yarn ball of consciousness? But I think that kind of explains my recent, I'll call it an addiction to TikTok and my attention seeking on the YouTubes and all that stuff. I do wish my family would, pay attention, ask how I am, ask how I'm doing. But anyways, I'd like to finish this off with a giant thank you and a show of appreciation to the handful of you who know me for, myself as I am, my shitty true self, and those of you who do know that shitty self and still choose to stick around. I immensely thank you all, and I appreciate all the love that I get from you guys. And I love you. I love you. So I guess that's this time's episode. It's weird doing my podcast on camera. It's weird. But like I said, for those of you who are watching this on YouTube, feel free to go and check out my other podcasts, the Ginger Swan Chronicles. And for those of you who are listening to this, feel free to go and check out my YouTube channel. It used to be the Aaron Swan 669, all one word, but now I think it's just Aaron Swan or Ginger Swan 669, I think. I don't know. You'll find it. I appreciate you guys joining me this time. Hopefully I get used to the camera thing on podcasts. Of course, TikTok is probably going to be going away, but if you want to still enjoy it, Ginger Swan 669. Cash App is Ginger Swan 66, capital G. Once again, thank you guys for joining in and listening to my terrible, meandering stream of consciousness. But, I always love you guys. Thanks for joining in. Bye.